standing here at Townsville POP FEST, which is like a mini Comic-Con that they do every year. Now, I'm really excited about this because I've been to 4 of these so far and I always have a great time. I also have really good conversations with all the cosplayers and the vendors and stuff. So I'm going to shoot around and do some interviews with some of them, and hopefully you guys can see some really cool stuff. I'm standing here with Bobasarmourer, who makes all these cool Star Wars helmets, and he's a good friend of mine, and I've been coming here for the last 4 years and seeing him. So Bobasarmourer, how do you make these helmets?
Basically, these helmets are all 3D printed. It's a lot easier, a lot less time consuming. And then I'll basically finish them off and paint them, of course.
Okay, and do you have a favorite helmet in particular?
Of course, it's always Mandalorian.
Okay, we'll go with that. Well, thanks for your time, mate. Let's go. I'm standing here with Seth Tylors, who's a wrestler who I just watched have a great match. And I was hoping you could tell me a bit about how you got into wrestling and why you did it.
Yeah, for sure. So classic boyhood dream sort of thing. My pop was the one that got me into wrestling. So I've been wrestling for 11 years now, come August. QWA holds monthly shows. We've got one coming up on 15th of June. So next Saturday. But yeah, we've got tryouts coming up as well. So yeah.
Okay, so you're part of the QWA, and if somebody wants to get involved in wrestling, they come down and do tryouts.
Yeah.
And is that the process?
Pretty much. So if you're ever interested in joining professional wrestling, especially in Townsville, you just message Queensland Wrestling Alliance on Facebook. We've got contact details as well with a website, which is www.qldwa.com.au. All our information's on that as well.
Righto, thanks Seth for your time,
worries,
mate.
man. Easy done.
Good luck. Thank you.
Mate.
I'm standing here with Alana from Candyville, and she sells all these freeze-dried lollies and stuff, which my wife's been going crazy for. So, Alana, can you please tell us a bit about the process of how you turn lollies into that and makes it taste so good?
Yeah, sure. So we put candy into a freeze-dry machine for roughly about 15 hours for most lollies, and it goes through a sublimation process, which extracts all the water and puffs them up to a different, sensory experience.
Okay, and what's your favourite one that you do?
My favourite, I think, would be Nerd Clusters.
Okay.
Yeah, Skittles are the most popular.
Okay, well, I'll have to try some of that out. Thanks for your time.
Oh, thank you.
And I'll see you around. I'm standing here with Lucas from Angry Fred Comics, and he actually writes all these comic books here. So, Lucas, how did you get into writing comic books?
Yeah, it's an interesting story. So the way I got into this was I'm a filmmaker by background, and I was making a bunch of films, and I made a zombie feature film that got released on DVD and in New Zealand and Australia, and it was called The Counterpart. And within that, there was a character that my dad played. He was in a red jacket. He smoked a big cigar, and he was a gangster type character that was going up against zombies. And fast forward, 10 years later after that, my dad was really sick, and he was about to pass away. And sort of my world of filmmaking and stuff went on a very different trajectory. I had a kid, and life did what it did.
Yep.
And I was still looking for a way to channel those stories in that I made with my dad into some sort of creative format. And what I ended up doing is I decided to get into comic books. I took my dad's character, that exact gangster, got some artists to draw him up, and basically created Angry Fred, put him into some comic books. I kickstarted my first one, Angry Squad 1, and it's like a team trope, A-team style thing where he just reluctantly has to go on a mission with all these young mercenaries and take on a big giant gorilla named Gary, right? And so I kickstarted it. It was successful. And so from there, it sort of just went on to the next issue, a bunch of other paraphernalia, a bunch of other books.
Yep.
And I'm here now at, Townsville POP FEST, giving it a good go and, selling the books. So,
That's awesome, Lucas. I can't wait to read this.
Thank you.
I haven't read a comic book in a while. We were talking about how comic books maybe changing over the years. And I always I see them now as a display and a bit of nostalgia to read. So how do you feel about the future of comic books?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I hope the future's bright for it, because I know there's that thing called Diamond Distribution where they sort of had a monopoly over selling comic books, like the Marvel and the DC stuff. But I hope that there's someone who comes in and disrupts it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And changes the way we look at things and the way we view that world. I feel like there's hope. I think there's hope.
Well, I think there's hope too, mate. Thanks for your time, Lucas.
Nice. Yeah.
I've pretty much finished my day here at Townsville Magneticon, and I've had a great time. I've met a lot of interesting people and spoke to a lot of people about stuff that I'm really interested in. So I hope you've had a great time, and if you like this content, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.